Renegade Immortal Episode 79. The situation is urgent. If a seven-leaf tree sorcerer descends, their power is comparable to a nascent soul stage 7 cultivator. By then, we will surely die. How bold WANG Ling was to use the cosmic immortal sword, slaying 2 six-leaf tree sorcerers in a row. Continuing from the previous episode, the 3 samsara fruits. However, before Old Who could finish, a thick yellow beam of light shot straight into the sky from the samsara tree. It stirred up layers of circular ripples spreading outwards on the black soil of the 3rd layer. Immediately afterwards, countless branches extended from the base of the originally withered trunk. In an instant, a magnificent and imposing samsara tree, as if supporting the entire 3rd layer, suddenly appeared before everyone's eyes. Although this tree was not tangible, the sheer size of its phantom was enough to shock all the Xianyi clan members. No matter where they were or what they were doing, they all stopped and rushed towards the location of the samsara tree phantom. WANG Ling looked up at the ancient tree phantom, a thought crossing his mind. Such a conspicuous giant tree would definitely attract all the savages on this level. Therefore, a great battle was inevitable. Thinking of this, a glint of determination flashed in WANG Ling's eyes. However, just then, 8 black shadows in the distance rushed towards them like lightning, transforming into 8 old men. As soon as they appeared, they didn't say a word, directly attacking the people under the samsara tree. At this time, the restrictions WANG Ling had set up earlier were instantly activated, like an indestructible armor, firmly protecting a 30-meter radius around them. But unexpectedly, under the continuous attacks, the restrictions began to shatter. Seeing this, Old Who quickly made hand seals. Several spiritual lights shot out, and 16 small flags around them fluttered in the windless air. Then, 16 ferocious, evil ghost-like creatures suddenly flew out from within, knocking the 8 attackers back several meters. At the same time, WANG Ling tapped his right hand, and the remaining fragments of the restrictions quickly condensed, transforming into a giant hand that suddenly grabbed forward. One of the attackers was instantly caught firmly in the giant hand. With a bang, the person inside exploded into flesh and blood, scattering everywhere. However, it wasn't over yet. WANG Ling struck again, the dissipated giant hand instantly reappearing and grabbing towards another person. It turned out that these Xianyi clan members mostly hovered around the 4-leaf level, equivalent to the Foundation Establishment Stage 7 cultivation. But just as everyone was catching their breath, a black shadow suddenly rushed towards them from afar. Within the black shadow, a large face, covered in dense runes, could vaguely be seen, appearing exceptionally mysterious and powerful. This was a Xianyi clan 6-leaf tree sorcerer. "Brother Wang, protect me. I'll go out and fight." Old Who's figure flashed, engaging in a fierce battle with the savage expert. Old Who returned with a disheveled appearance. Not only was his expression grave, but he also had 2 wounds on his body. "I killed one, but 2 more came. I can't beat them." Hearing this, WANG Ling instantly vanished from his spot. When he reappeared, one of the savage elders immediately noticed him. An even fiercer battle ensued. Facing 2 six-leaf tree sorcerers comparable to late nascent soul cultivators, WANG Ling fought back and forth. However, WANG Ling knew that if this continued, it would inevitably attract more savage experts. So, without hesitation, WANG Ling took out the cosmic immortal sword. Instantly, a black light, like a sharp blade cutting through tofu, sliced a 6-leaf tree sorcerer's body in half. Blood splattered everywhere. Seeing this, the other tree sorcerer's face changed drastically, and he tried to escape. But WANG Ling snorted coldly and took out a bell. With a flick, he threw it above the savage's head. The savage's eyes filled with even more madness as he tried to retrieve his beast skin to fight back. But it was too late. WANG Ling put away the immortal sword and the bell, turned around, and stepped back into the formation. With his disappearance, the surroundings returned to peace once again. All that remained was a mess. Deep within the formation, under the samsara tree, Old Who witnessed WANG Ling's return, a barely perceptible flicker of surprise in his eyes. He had just witnessed WANG Ling's battle firsthand. What surprised him was that Wang Ling could easily defeat two sorcerers comparable to late nascent soul cultivators. How much longer? Wang Ling looked at the samsara tree. The 3 yellow dots on it had swelled to the size of fists. Soon, half an hour at most. The samsara fruits will be ready soon. The situation is urgent. If a 7-leaf tree sorcerer descends, their power is comparable to a nascent soul stage 7 cultivator. By then, we will surely die. Old Hu's face darkened upon hearing this. Just as he was about to speak, his expression suddenly changed drastically. He looked towards the outside of the formation. Wang Ling sighed softly and followed his gaze. More than 20 black shadows were rushing towards them like lightning. Nascent soul cultivator Wang Lin mused, if my true body were here, I could definitely fight this person. As everyone knows, in the original Xian and I story, Wang Lin, in order to obtain the samsara fruit, came to the 3rd level of the Xiani land with Old Hu and others. But just as they saw the samsara tree, more than 26-leaf tree sorcerers, comparable to late nascent soul cultivators, were attracted by it. So how would Wang Lin, only at the mid-nascent soul stage, deal with this situation? Continuing from the last episode. To accelerate the ripening of the samsara fruit, Old Hu sacrificed all the life force of his disciples. As Su Luo fell, the 3 yellow dots on the samsara tree instantly burst with dazzling light. Seeing this, Wang Lin quickly picked one samsara fruit, while Old Hu grabbed 2. However, Wang Lin decisively struck the samsara tree with a palm, picked up the trunk, and ran. Qiu Saiping gritted his teeth and decided to follow behind Wang Lin. The 3 figures rushed out almost simultaneously. But in the next second, a burly man quickly blocked Wang Lin's path. Facing the burly man's obstruction, Wang Lin, with a grim expression, patted his storage bag. The immortal sword instantly shot forward. The burly man threw out his right fist, which collided violently with the sword light, producing a loud boom. The man's right hand not only split open, but his body was also thrown dozens of meters away. However, despite this, an even more fervent fighting spirit flickered in his eyes. With a roar, he charged towards Wang Lin again. Wang Lin instantly realized that this opponent was no ordinary tree sorcerer. He was a rare battle sorcerer. Otherwise, how could an ordinary tree sorcerer withstand the immortal sword with just their physical body? After seeing the danger and understanding the opponent's strength, Wang Lin didn't hesitate and turned to flee. Seeing this, the other tree sorcerers sent several of their own to block Wang Lin's path. Seeing their formation, killing intent flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He coldly shouted, "Get lost," and swept his immortal sword. 2 tree sorcerers were instantly cut in half. Blood splattered. Seeing this, the others involuntarily slowed their pace. Only the burly man, with a grim look, continued to chase relentlessly from behind. "Outsider, you have nowhere to run. Why not fight me head-on?" A glint of killing intent flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He stopped and said, "Fine. I'll fight you." The burly man, his fighting spirit burning, shouted, "Shermu, 6-leaf battle sorcerer, nascent soul cultivator." Wang Lin narrowed his eyes, leaned forward, and punched the air. The sound of tearing echoed through the air. Wang Lin's immortal sword shimmered. A powerful force surged through the immortal sword, causing his hands to tremble slightly. If my true body were here, I could definitely fight this person. Thinking this, Wang Lin waved his right hand. The beast ring instantly flew out. In a flash, the divine archery chariot appeared out of thin air. The soul beast roared deafeningly. An unprecedented sense of danger instantly washed over Shermu. Shermu's expression changed drastically. Divine archery chariot. Let me see your true strength. The reason for using the divine archery chariot was that, in Wang Lin's view, it would be difficult to escape today without eliminating this person. But before the chariot could fully activate, Shermu launched a preemptive attack. However, under Wang Lin's continuous slashes with the immortal sword, Shermu was forced to retreat repeatedly. Although many tiny cracks appeared on Shermu's body, as the runes flickered, these cracks miraculously healed. From within Wang Lin's tightly gripped immortal sword came Su Ligua's shrill cries. After all, Su Ligua was a ghost and couldn't fully control the immortal sword yet. Fortunately, at this moment, the divine archery chariot fully activated. The soul beast roared and leaped out from the chariot. At a speed that even Wang Lin could barely perceive, it instantly closed in on Shenmu. Shenmu, his face filled with terror, tried to escape, but his speed was far inferior to the soul beast's. The soul beast instantly pierced through Shenmu's body. Shenmu's body began to split apart from his forehead. The cracks quickly spread throughout his entire body. In the end, he turned into dust. After dealing with Shenmu, Wang Lin didn't dare to linger. He left the area at full speed. If a seven-leaf tree sorcerer were to appear, Wang Lin knew he wouldn't be able to contend with them. As time passed, the exit of the third level was just around the corner. Wang Lin's figure flickered, and he instantly appeared at the exit. But just as he was about to step through, a cough suddenly came from the distance. Then, an elderly man with gray hair and a slightly hunched back slowly walked into view. Faced with this, Wang Lin didn't hesitate. His figure flickered again, and he returned to the second level. The old man followed the direction of Wang Lin's disappearance with his gaze, then vanished from his spot. He reappeared almost instantly on the second level. But after appearing, the old man couldn't help but sigh softly because he could originally clearly sense the outsider's location, but the moment he teleported, the other party's aura suddenly disappeared. Oh dear, this little outsider has some skills. To be able to escape right under my nose. The old man pondered for a moment, then moved again, vanishing from his spot. Senior, you've pursued me for months. Wouldn't it be a pity to give up now? Such a waste. Wang Lin taunted. The old man roared, "Little bastard, I'll let you off this once. Get lost. If you follow me again, don't blame me for taking your life." As everyone knows, in the original CNNI, Wang Lin encountered a seven-leaf tree sorcerer in the Xianyi land whose power was comparable to a nascent soul stage 7 cultivator. However, Wang Lin, only at the mid-nascent soul stage, was no match for a nascent soul stage 7 expert. So Wang Lin hid in the heaven-defying space. Time flew by. Half a month passed. Wang Lin emerged from the heaven-defying space. But as soon as he appeared, he increased his speed to the limit. Several hours later, Wang Lin arrived at the entrance to the first level of the Xianyi land. However, just as he was about to step in, a massive golden rune suddenly descended, sealing the entrance. "Outsider brat, I've been waiting for you." The hunchbacked old man stood beneath the rune. Wang Lin knew that any move at this point could lead to utter destruction. The old man's voice was filled with rage. "You killed Mo, Zagu, and even Chimu. Your cultivation hasn't even reached mid-nascent soul, yet you were able to kill these descendants of my clan. Especially six-leaf Chimu. You must be someone of some renown in the cultivation world above. What's your name?" Wang Lin replied calmly, but his left hand pressed firmly on the beast ring. Although the beast ring was powerful, its activation time was a fatal weakness. The old man continued, "The treasure you used to kill Chi Mu, it's that bracelet of yours, isn't it? I won't make things difficult for you. Tell me how you conceal your aura, and I'll leave your corpse intact. With your cultivation, you can't escape." The old man reached out his right hand. The surrounding space seemed to be gripped by an invisible hand, instantly solidifying. Light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. The restriction flag shot out. With a shake, it transformed into a ferocious dragon, lunging straight towards the old man. At the same time, black sword light erupted from the immortal sword in his palm. But unexpectedly, the old man simply tapped his finger, a rune condensing at his fingertip and shooting out, neutralizing all of Wang Lin's attacks. "This sword is no ordinary item. You possess such a treasure, you must come from an extraordinary background. You must be an elite disciple of some great sect." With that, the old man slowly raised his right hand. Although slow, the power it exuded was even more immense than before. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. An ancient-looking scroll appeared in his hand. This scroll seemed ordinary, but the moment Wang Lin grasped it, the old man's previously calm expression suddenly tensed. His outstretched right hand involuntarily paused for a moment. It was this momentary pause that gave Wang Lin his chance. Using a demonic technique, he sped away into the distance. A strange glint flashed in the old man's eyes. With a flicker, he followed close behind. In his desperation, Wang Lin used the immortal sword to cut open a spatial rift. Raging winds howled within the rift. Although Wang Lin knew the dangers of spatial rifts, he didn't have time to think. He took out the star compass from his storage bag. Wang Lin's figure flickered. Riding the star compass, he shot into the spatial rift like an arrow loosed from a bow. At the same time, the hunchbacked old man followed close behind, also stepping into the spatial rift. Wang Lin sat on the compass, flying further and further into the strange, empty space. However, despite the long flight, Wang Lin hadn't encountered anything tangible. He hadn't even detected a single fluctuation of spiritual energy. This silence and the unknown put him under immense pressure. Time flew by. For months passed. The hunchbacked old man frowned. For the past 4 months, he had been pursuing Wang Lin. But Wang Lin's speed hadn't decreased. On the contrary, it was increasing day by day. Several times, he almost lost him. As a 7-leaf tree sorcerer, a nascent soul expert, he couldn't catch a nascent soul junior. This was undoubtedly a great humiliation for him. However, it wasn't just shame. His cultivation relied on the power of the runes on his body. Now, the power of the runes within him was almost exhausted. Continuing the pursuit was clearly no longer feasible. After some thought, a trace of unwillingness flickered in the old man's eyes. He had no choice but to give up the chase and turn back. As Wang Lin flew, he suddenly felt the sense of danger behind him disappear. He stopped the star compass and looked back. He's really not chasing anymore? Wang Lin wasn't sure if the old man had really given up or if it was a trap. Considering the hunchbacked old man's cultivation, Wang Lin didn't dare to lower his guard. Out of caution, Wang Lin didn't move the star compass forward. Instead, he steered it to the side. The hunchbacked old man, who was pretending to leave, immediately noticed Wang Lin's movement. His face darkened, but he ultimately didn't take any action. As time went on, the old man realized that Wang Lin was maintaining a certain distance from him, following unhurriedly from behind. However, after enduring for many days, the old man finally lost his patience. He abruptly turned around and roared furiously, "You're courting death." He then transformed into a shooting star and chased after Wang Lin again. Seeing this, Wang Lin laughed. The star compass beneath his feet instantly activated, and his figure vanished without a trace in the void. After several days of pursuit, the old man finally had to give up, his heart filled with frustration and unwillingness. In the next episode, Wang Lin infuriates the old man. Please like and subscribe. We'll continue in the next episode.